Alright, this might be the series finale for Stereotypes in Lineage. Quick disclaimer, a stereotype doesn't apply to everyone, it's just what people assume about you if you play a certain class or race. Don't get mad in the comments about how I called you gay, just stop being gay. Thought I would have to mention this, but there's just gonna be random Khei ganking footage that I found, because I'm not even joking, I could not find any footage of most of the races that I'm talking about in this video. So, yeah, that's just too bad, huh? Saurian is actually a pretty solid race. It's Castellan, so anyone who went to Khei with this decided to either go to Khei with their first Ultra, or they genuinely appreciate the extra snap and blessing in Khei because it's actually really useful. Saurians can be any class because it adapts pretty well with any of its benefits, none of them benefiting any specific class, but they all benefit you no matter what class you go. This is the Khei version of Dizin, and there's about a 90% chance that they're an Uber Oni. It's the best race for Oni in Khei, which is pretty surprising because it wasn't in Gaia, just because of all the buffs that they get. The 10% chance is D-Rider, just because it's a super OP class that complements your Crutch build with iframes even more. This is the Hassledon of Khei. They're pretty much identical to the Gaia version, except all of their racial passives and moves got slight buffs to make them actually pretty solid. And it is a pretty solid race in Khei. Most Hassledons in Khei are either trying to get Azael, or they main Khei and they actually like the race because it's actually pretty good. You have to be getting Azael, because this race is actually awful. It gets one upside, and it's really bad. That one upside is Sage. Sage makes all spells branded for 60 seconds, which is nearly useless, and that's the only upside to this race that they don't get in Gaia. If you're not getting Azael, then you're going to Khei for the first time 100%, and you have no idea how trash this race actually is yet, because why else would you be playing it and not going for Azael? You are a mega tryhard. Khei Dinakari is meta, and it's meta for a reason. Having 60% damage reduction is pretty overpowered. Godstricks usually play D-Rider or Uber Wraith Knight just because of the funny 1200 health build. Godstrick mains know how strong that their race is, and they will absolutely abuse the hell out of it. Just be prepared for anything, and try to spam weaker multi-hit moves to try and get rid of their Regalia fast. This is the Khei version of Ashen, and it's a pretty mediocre race, I'm not gonna lie. It's good for progression because you get double insight, but it's only actual passives or mythical stability, which isn't really useful in fights against actual players. And faster M2s, which is only good with like 2 classes out of the few in Khei. I guess it's good for edicts because you can progress slightly faster, but now you've got an edict on an Ashen when you could have it on a better race. Unless you re-roll. This is Khei Madrazian, and it's also part of the meta. They could be anyone or any class, but they're probably a Dark Sigil because they can have 450 health with no downsides, and it's not going to wear off the way Regalia does. It's a really good race, and the fact that they can switch into mobility mode makes it so much better at everything, because that's all you really need in this game, tankiness and mobility. If you have more health than someone, even if you do very little damage, you'll still probably beat them. Khei Madrazians can be mobile or tanky, and it's actually a pretty insane race. It's much better in Khei than in Gaia, because in Gaia, I'm not gonna lie, it's not all that good. It is good. Trinket Shift is pretty busted, and it literally just makes certain things not work, but it's much better in Khei. I hate this race. You are a tryhard, sweaty bitch. This is the Khei version of Construct and Cameo, because for some reason they become the same thing. Well, why? Because the devs are lazy. The people who main this class really put the homo in homunculi, and they can very easily play because they have 9 lives. This is a direct upgrade to Cameo in every way. They can literally lobotomize themselves and become the equivalent of an actual real-life homunculi, and they just get to, because this race is stupid OP and stupid easy to play. Although, quick tip for homunculi players, don't battery more than once in a fight, because then if you do get the grip, well, you still lose lives. You absolutely main Khei, or you want Azael. This race is actually only good in Khei because it counters multiple metaclasses in Khei. You either realize how good it is in Khei and stay there, or you hate Khei and you just want an account with Gate. I am the latter. I hate Khei, I hate Vind. I wanted an Azael. On paper, Khei Casperin sounds really good because you essentially have double the lives. However, in execution, it doesn't really work anywhere near as well as it sounds because the Khei death system is based on a percentage. So yeah, you have half the chance to die, but if you happen to get unlucky, you can still wipe at 3%. So Casperin players are actually pretty similar to Gaia players. They're usually Giga Chads, ignore that voice crack, and they're probably good at what they do. However, depending on the class, they may or may not be a Giga Chad, but you'll have to look at class stereotypes for that one. Yes, it's a Gaia race. Yes, I covered it in the Gaia race video, but it's got its own stereotypes for Khei too, since it's also part of the meta. Khei Morvids can be anything because it's actually pretty good for everything. The fall damage resistance and flock are kinda needed if you don't have fall res, because Khei is like 99% cliffs and pits, with the 1% being water. Khei Morvids are usually just people who are tired of D-Riders knocking them off cliffs and getting one comboed by spies. And who can blame them? It's not very fun. Well, then again, Khei isn't very fun, but whatever. Yeah, Gaia race. I already covered this with Morvid, but it's also got its own stereotype. The people who play this in Khei are actually pretty similar to the people who play it in Gaia. They're probably Shinobi or Oni, and it's a near identical stereotype, if I'm being honest. Beta male iframe abuser, who only wins fights because he has his crutch invincibility frames, and he can just get a free combo in the middle of your combo. I don't have too much to say about Fisherins. I just really do not like them in Khei or Gaia, and I hate you if you play this race. Unless you're subscribed to me, of course, in which case you're fine. Yeah, I forgot to mention Azael. This part's also unscripted, but I forgot to mention Azael. If you play Azael in Khei, you absolutely main Khei, because Azael is definitely, like, top 5 races in Khei, just because you don't have any downsides. In Gaia, you have 2 lives and you can't use PDs. In Khei, you have Snapgate, an extra snap slot, and that's it. This race is really good in Khei in comparison to Gaia, and there's no reason for you not to get it if you can, unless you really want to keep, like, your race if you have Godstruck, or maybe even Morvid or Navarin. This race is good. This race is really, really good. Oh yeah, almost forgot to mention, Gate to Plains into Gelidus over Gate combo, so that way they can get an easy win. If they're ranked, there's a pretty high chance they're rank boosted hard, and that's why if they ever get into a fight with someone that may or may not beat them, they will always gate to a cliff and attempt to knock you off of it, without fail. Now it's up to you if you're willing to fall for that combo, because if you are, you're probably worse than they are. I forgot to actually write something for this part, but this is the end of the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm not sure if I will do more stereotypes videos. I might, if you guys give me topics to do them on, maybe like subclass stereotypes, even though that'll be a pretty short video. Or maybe I'll do like everything I didn't cover, so I could do like subclasses, and I could do like all the classes that I never covered, like Ronin and Blacksmith, because nobody plays them. So maybe I'll do that. I'll go back and do that, right? But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and new video next week probably. And join my Discord server, follow me on Twitter, Twitch, everything. That will all be found in the description and comment section below. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great day.